Be me, 25s. Junior structural engineer for a massive city firm. Day job consists of staring at AutoCAD drawings of parking garages and calculating load-bearing limits of drywall. Soul-crushing boredom. Live in a studio apartment that smells slightly of stale coffee and loneliness. Have exactly one hobby to keep the void at bay. Urban exploration. Urbex. Spending weekends breaking into abandoned factories, forgotten subway tunnels, and condemned asylums. Not for vandalism, just for the vibes. Like the silence. Like seeing how nature reclaims concrete. It's peaceful in a post-apocalyptic way. One Friday night, decide to hit up the Citadel. Local legend. Massive unfinished luxury hotel from the 90s market crash. 30 stories of exposed rebar and graffiti. Fenced off, guarded by one sleeping old guy and a dog that looks like it died 3 years ago. Easy entry. Hop the fence, sneak past the guard shack. The air smells like wet cement and rust. Climb the stairs because the elevators are death traps. Reach the 15th floor. Usually this place is empty, maybe a raccoon or a drug addict on the lower levels. But tonight feels different. Hair on the back of my neck stands up. Hear a sound. It's not wind, not rats. Piano music. Classical Chopin. Coming from the upper floors. Freeze AXE. Is this a horror movie intro? Am I about to get murdered by a phantom of the opera? Curiosity overrides survival instinct. Keep climbing. Sound gets louder. It's echoing through the empty elevator shaft. Reach the 20th floor. Follow the sound down a long concrete hallway covered in tags. Slayer 420 blaze it, Jenna was here. End of the hall, there's a room with a makeshift door. Just a heavy tarp hung over the frame. Music stops abruptly as I step on a piece of broken glass. Grunge. Silence is deafening. Hello? Stupid, why did I say hello? No answer. Push the tarp aside. Holy shit. It's not an abandoned room. It's a sanctuary. Solar-powered camping lanterns stringed up like fairy lights. Rugs covering the concrete dust. Bookshelves made of cinder blocks and scavenged planks. And in the center, a pristine grand piano. Except it's not a real piano. It's a digital keyboard hooked up to a massive car battery rig and some high-end speakers. And standing behind it, a girl, maybe 23, wearing an oversized military surplus jacket and combat boots, holding a crowbar like it's a baseball bat. She looks terrified but ready to swing. Hands up immediately. Whoa, easy, I'm just exploring, not a cop, not security. She doesn't lower the crowbar. Eyes wide, frantic. How did you get up here? Voice is shaky but sharp. Stares, same as you, I guess. She stares at me for a solid minute. Assessing threat level. I look like a generic nerd in a hoodie with a GoPro strapped to my chest. Threat level 0. She slowly lowers the crowbar. You interrupted the nocturnes. Sorry, it sounded really good, acoustics in here are wild. She blinks. You liked it. Yeah, better than the wind howling through the rebar. She relaxes slightly. Tells me to get out. This is my spot, don't blow my cover. I nod, secret safe with me, I'm just here for the view. Back away slowly. Leave the buildings. Drive home. Can't stop thinking about the piano girl in the concrete wasteland. Next weekend, go back. Bring a peace offering. A thermos of hot chocolate and a bag of high-quality beef jerky. Climb the 20 floors, cardio is getting better. Knock on the doorframe, the concrete part next to the tarp. Delivery for the phantom of the high-rise. She opens the tarp. Looks suspicious but smells the chocolate. You came back. I brought supplies, it's freezing tonight. She lets me in. We sit on the rugs. Her name is V, obviously fake. She eats the jerky like she hasn't seen protein in a week. Ask her why she's living in a construction skeleton. She gets quiet. Rent is expensive and people are loud. Fair point. Learn she's not homeless in the traditional sense. She has a laptop, a 4G hotspot, does freelance coding work from a tent she pitched in the master bedroom suite. Just chooses to live off the grid. In a building that doesn't legally exist on the occupancy registry. We talk for hours. She's weirdly funny. Cynical dry wit. Explains how she rigged the rainwater collection system on the balcony. I explain the structural integrity of the floor we are sitting on. Technically, this cantilever is stressed, so don't put the piano near the edge. She left. Noted, Mr. Engineer. Leave at dawn. This becomes a routine. Every Friday and Saturday night. I become a mule for civilization. Bring her batteries, fresh fruit, propane for her heater. She plays music for me. Sometimes we just sit on the edge of the 20th floor balcony, legs dangling over the city lights, drinking cheap wine from plastic cups. She tells me about her past. Run away from a hyper-controlling family of academics. They wanted her to be a neurosurgeon. She wanted to write code and play music. They threatened to institutionalize her for rebellion. So she ghosted them, literally vanished into the concrete jungle. I feel safer here with the rats than I did at dinner parties. Understandable. Start developing feelings. Not just she's a girl feelings, but she's the only real person I know failings. She's raw, honest, broken, but rebuilding herself. Like the buildings. One night I arrive and she's frantic, packing everything into duffel bags. What's wrong? She points to the window. Down below, construction vehicles. Not the usual dormant ones. New ones with logos I recognize. My firm's logo. Oh no. They're restarting the project, I say. My company got the contract to assess the structure for demolition or renovation. She's panicking. I have nowhere to go, my gear, the piano, the batteries. She can't move it all alone. Security will be swarming the place by Monday morning. Decision time. I have a truck, I say. What? I have a truck and a freight elevator key. The elevators don't work. I'm a structural engineer. I know how to override the service lift manual brake if the cables are intact. We can lower your stuff to the loading dock. It's risky. Illegal. Could lose my job. Don't care. We spend the entire night rigging the service elevator. It screams like a dying banshee as we lower it. Load up the piano, the solar panels, the rugs. She looks at the empty concrete room. Goodbye, Citadel. Sadness in her eyes is palpable. Drive her out of there at 4 a.m. Guard is still asleep. Where do I drop you, I asked. She looks at her boots. I don't know, storage units. Take a deep breath. My place has a second bedroom. It's full of boxes, but it's warm. She hesitates. I don't want to impose, I'm Farrell's. I like Farrell plus you owe me gas money. She smiles. We move her ins. My apartment suddenly looks like a Radio Shack exploded inside an REI. She sets up her command center in the spare room. First week is awkward. She walks softly like she's trying not to trigger motion sensors. Hoards food in her room. Showers for 45 minutes because she hasn't had hot water on demand in a year. I go to work, come home, she's there. Typing away wearing my oversized hoodies. I fixed your Wi-Fi, she says one day. It wasn't broken. It was slow. I rerouted your traffic through a VPN and optimized the packet loss. Also, your neighbor was stealing bandwidth, so I bricked his router. You what? Don't worry about it. Okay then. Slowly the dynamic shifts. We're not explorer and recluse anymore. We're roommates, then partners. One night watching a movie, she leans her head on my shoulder. It's too quiet here, she whispers. I can turn up the volumes. No, I mean no wind, no creaking pipes, it's too safe. Is that bad? She looks up. Eyes are dark, intense. It's scary because I have something to lose now. Heart exe has stopped working. Kiss her. Tastes like cheap wine and chapstick. Best moment of my life. Fast forward 6 months. She's reintegrating into society. Got a remote job that pays actual money into a legit bank account. We go grocery shopping. She still scans the exits and security cameras out of habit. We're buying kale, not robbing a bank. Always be prepared, Anons. My firm finishes the assessment of the Citadel. It's getting imploded. Demolition day. We drive out to a hill overlooking the city. Watch from the bed of my truck. Boom. Cloud of dust. The concrete skeleton collapses into itself. She grips my hand so hard it hurts. It's gone, she says. Yeah. I'm glad. Look at her surprised. Why? She smiles, real genuine smile. Because I don't need a fortress anymore. The feels. 2 years later. We move to a bigger place. Has a garage for her projects. She builds drones now. Still play piano, but on a real baby grand we bought. Sometimes on weekends we still go exploring. Find an old storm drain or a factory. Walk through the decay. Hold hands. She points out structural weaknesses. I point out good spots for a sniper nest. We left. She's my player too in the wasteland. Life is good. Weird, unexpected, but good. Sometimes I miss the thrill of the Citadel. But coming home to her cooking dinner burning pasta is better. She looks at me across the table. You're staring. Just thinking. About what? How I found a diamond in a pile of rubble. She throws a garlic bread at my face. Cheesy. Literally. We left. MFW, I saved the princess from the tower, and she turned out to be the coolest person I know.